I'm back. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you. I felt really bad about, so I broke my phone and I felt really bad about recording it on here because as you see in the last video, or here in the last video, the audio is not, it's creating this weird noise. So I realized I had this super old phone before my new one arrives that I could record on. And super wide screen. You can see whoa, it's is it exactly my, no, it's a little smaller than my wingspan. I've been whittling more. I've been doing a lot of things. I have a video coming up about some of my other art that I've been doing, but this is the second last in this rabbit series that I've been doing, and it's really getting really weird. That's the eye on the top of the head, and then the snout is split into two. I think it looks kind of like a heart or something else. And I got into a little bit of a spiritual depression the last few days because of an energy of an old person in my life coming back in. And then I didn't know that that's why it was happening, and I was just really off. Everything just felt super off spiritually, and I was didn't like myself and whatever. And then I did some cord cutting and I felt instantly better after. I was like, oh, I guess that was why. Sometimes I go through these periods of avoiding kind of watching spiritual content or whatever, and I just go am I crazy? Is this all just crazy? And then I feel bad, and then eventually something draws me back, and it's but I can't make myself watch them because I don't want to engage in this. I still engage in my spiritual practices, I still meditate. But it's I don't want to engage in something spiritual in the interest of making me feel better as this kind of I'm going through a zombie. There are certain things that I'll do that with meditating, where it's it doesn't matter how I'm feeling, I'm gonna meditate every day. That's the point. But with, especially consuming content or engaging in some kind of spiritual community activities other than just going to church, that regimented Sunday, if it's not a regimented thing, then it's feels very, it should be very intuitive for me to engage with it. And when it's not intuitive and it's kind of well, I feel bad and I should watch this content or I should engage in these practices to make me feel better, it's that's not really the energy that I want to bring. So I wasn't engaging in these communities online for a while. And then I was called to it, and I came back and it was oh, so much better, but it's so now I feel a lot better. And even on my bad days now, I go grocery shopping and I clean and I have all my routines. This is my daily routine, okay? Wake up 9:30. Usually I wake up before then, but it's 9:30 is the wake up time. And if I wake up before then, ideally I stay in bed. And then I get out of bed, I have my coffee, I have my breakfast, and I have to eat something. This is peaches and strawberries and yogurt with a little bit of honey. It's pretty good. It's it's pretty much whipped cream. It tastes like whipped cream. I don't really know the difference between this and eating strawberries and cream, so I feel I'm eating dessert right now. And then usually I'll be this is the thing I'm trying to introduce into the routine, is instead of watching videos while I'm eating breakfast and like reading. So obviously today I'm recording a video, but I've been finally reading Carl Jung. Oh my god, and I'm so happy because I know so much like about him and his life and his work through like interviews and just like people talking about his theories and everything. But finally I'm reading him, and I was like, subconsciously I'm like afraid that he's not gonna hold up, right? It's like, oh, all these ideas are so good, but like his actual writing, like what if his prose is terrible? But it's so good. Like I literally cried the first time I was reading it because I just felt like somebody finally like understands how I feel. And like when he was talking about he had this like dream as a child that was like very spiritual, and it was like kind of like this dark side of spirituality, but he knew that it wasn't Satan, it was God, and this kind of like deep like understanding that like God was like working in his life in a way that's like terrified him and didn't feel like morally pure. That was like really challenging for him to understand, and that he couldn't talk about with other people. It was just like this guy, like this, you just sometimes you can just tell when someone has like a living relationship with God. Like it's one thing to be spiritual, but it's another to be like to have this like feeling of like, you know, it's like you, and it's not like if lots of people can talk about God and it's in a very different way, and it's like it's like clearly you're talking about like the symbol, but like when somebody has like met God and they really, it's like meeting somebody that knows your friend who lives like halfway across the world, and you haven't seen your friend in a while, and you, oh my god, you know my friend, and you just think, yeah, this is like, it's just so amazing. And there's not a lot of people who've met my friend, or who know they've met my friend. So yeah, so I have my breakfast, I read, and then it's like work time, so like go to school, or like do something with my day. This part is still pretty like up in the air of like what should I be doing with that time. Oh, sorry, no, coffee and then meditate. That's what I'm gonna be doing okay. But it's already, I need to go to school. It's like getting too late. But no matter what, meditate. Like if I'm gonna be late for class, meditate. It's always like there's no, oh, I don't have time to meditate today. It's like, that's like, it's like eat, meditate. So like there's no like, oh, I didn't have time to eat. Oh, I didn't have time to meditate. Like, girl, what are you talking about? I didn't have time to breathe. So then I do something with my day. I make art. I like, sometimes I see a friend at some point. Sometimes I write or do something spiritual. Sometimes I have to have a nap, which I'm really trying to like get okay with, because I still feel really upset when I have to take a nap. Like a little baby. And come home, and then my evening is just some kind of like distraction, like entertainment, like watching a movie, watching my short form content, just something that is like pure, just like veg out distraction. Because, and I would love for this not to have to be the case. Like I would love for that to be more reading, or, but it's just, I need that time in order to like help everything process slowly and not get like overwhelmed with like too much material at the same time. So I do that, and then right before bed, which is like 9:30, I take my melatonin. And it's more of a routine than anything. Just like, okay, this is the getting ready for bed. I take my melatonin. I, go upstairs and I will tidy up for a little bit. Like my room, just something in my room, even if it's like the tiniest thing. Just put away some clothes or like sweep or organize things. And brush my teeth. The morning I brush teeth too, but that's like before I leave, and so it's like hard to figure out like how exactly that needs to fit in. And then I just got really self-aware, but this is just a video of me talking about my daily routine. But I'm always like, oh, maybe I'll finally make a video just talking about my daily routine till it just like get it down. Like this is where I'm at right now. And I never end up doing it, so now I'm doing it and I feel silly about it, which of course it is silly. And then I'm in bed and I pray and I light incense and I like cleanse my bed area of like any negative energy that has been like around there. Like sometimes it's like I'll be watching videos in bed at some point and then that energy will be like lingering and it doesn't feel like a restful place. Or something. Or I had nightmares the previous night and I'm like afraid that I'm gonna have nightmares again. So that kind of just like helps it be like, this is a place of like resting and love for Morgan, and anything that's not like aligned with Morgan's best interest, Morgan's like happiness and fulfillment needs to get with the program or get out. So, but that's usually like, there's a lot of other things that happen in my day that are not like neatly packed in this like schedule format that kind of just are wiggling around in there. So typically it's like the goal is like for sure go to bed before 12. Ideally go to bed before 11:30. And then anything before 11 is like totally fine, and not before 9:30. So like whatever I'm doing, I have this like wiggle room. Yeah. I don't love watching myself eat, but I think it's good because it's such like an important thing. Like I still do, but I used to really struggle with eating a lot more than I do now. And it's been a big part of my life, and so like it's a pretty big deal that I eat breakfast every day. Even if it's like yesterday all I could possibly manage was like some dry mini wheats, and that was a very pitiful breakfast. But it's just like, even if it's not like actually sufficient as a breakfast, having that thing there of being like, we're not just not gonna eat because it's not good enough. Like there's always gonna be a breakfast, and the goal is like, as over time that breakfast gets like better and more like substantial for me. Like I'd love more, I know yogurt has protein, but it's like I'd love more protein in here. I'd love something like a bit heavier to really like give me some more energy for my day, but that's just like, it's not doable right now, and this is doable, and that's okay. So yeah, it's like we don't get to like not eat just because like the eating isn't, there's no like, oh, but why are we eating this if it's not even like a good breakfast? It's like we just eat because we eat. There's never like a, oh, I should eat, or I could eat right now, but like, why would I eat? Like, what am I gonna eat? And it's like, it doesn't freaking matter. Like, obviously you have to figure out what you're gonna eat to some extent, but it's like there's no reason behind the eating. Because the second that I give myself, obviously there's a million reasons to eat, but if I give myself this kind of, the logic is a place where a lot of sort of self-sabotage or evil or whatever you want to call it, like trickiness gets in, where there's a part of my brain that goes, okay, but why are we doing this? And then spend your energy figuring out like the point of everything before you do it, and that if you can't logic your way into some good reason, which often I can't because I'm like hungry and I can't think, then we can't do it. And it's kind of like a way of creating inertia. But yeah, I just feel, I don't know, I feel really beautiful lately, and I feel really happy. And I went on a walk the other day that like felt so crazy. It was like I was on psychedelics, but I was totally sober. And it was a beautiful time. It felt like everything was Minecraft, and I could like really touch things, and it didn't feel like I was like trapped inside the story of who I was as a person. It was like I was really just there, and everyone else was just there. And all the stories we tell ourselves about like our relationships to each other and everything like that is just part of the game. But it wasn't in like obviously, you know, if you stay in that mindset for a long time, it like makes it hard to integrate with people. But it didn't feel dissociative in the moment. It was nice to have that like hour and a half of being with the world without there being this like story on top of it. I will see you soon. I love you. Bye.